What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the all-new, redesigned, fully, right? Nissan Armada. It has been a couple of days, to say the least, since it has been fully redesigned, and I gotta say, it's pretty nice. This in particular is the Pro4X. Trim level. So we're going to be talking mainly about this trim level. We may talk about some of the differences here and there between some of the other ones, including pricing and whatnot. If you're new to my channel, we have over 23,000 subscribers. And if you're not familiar with the format, we are going to start with a cinematic, generally 60 seconds or less. And then we will be jumping around to the exterior, talking stats, figures, stuff I feel like you guys would want to know. And then we will jump on into the interior, and then we'll be taking it on a drive. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. Let's roll. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. Alrighty, let's start again with some of these stats and figures. This Pro4X is a 3.5 liter twin turbo, 6-cylinder, pushing 425 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. Transmission is a 9-speed auto. Drivetrain is intelligent all-wheel drive. Curb weight's coming in at around 6,054 pounds, which is going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. Towing is around 8,500 pounds. And then let's talk about gas mileage. Obviously, that's important. And I'm going to be honest, maybe not the best figures here, but it is not a small vehicle. And you already knew that based on size, which we'll get to as well. MPG is 15 city, 18 highway, and a combined average of 16 MPGs. Now, gas tank size is 23.6 gallons. Now the vehicle dimensions. Overall length, 17.5 feet, and the width is 6.9 feet. So she's definitely wide. Now, ground clearance is about 9.6 to an 11.6. That is adjustable because it is on an air suspension. Trim level order, just so you are aware, it starts with an SV, that's the base, then it goes to the SL, then to the Platinum, then to the Pro4X, and then to the Platinum Reserve. Pricing starts on the base SV at $56,520. Now, unfortunately, I don't quite have the window sticker. This is a newer press car. So just going on to the builder, this should be roughly, tester today, $76,000. Again, give or take just a little bit because I don't quite have the window sticker just quite yet. All right, we're here in the rear, so let's just go ahead and touch on this really quick, and then we'll kind of walk around the exterior and just point out some of the different things. If you go literally in between the M and the A, that's where the button is. You hear it just chime a couple times and up it will go. All right, now that we are back here, over on the left, you're going to see an outlet. And then over on the right, you have a slew of buttons. The third row, you can go up and down, right here and there. And then the second row, it will only fold down. But you do have some things here. So you can see the left side, if we were to hold this, up it goes. You can let go of it, obviously. Just press it, and then there it comes for the third row. And then, of course, this is on air suspension. Again, you can go up and down for the ride height. And the other thing, obviously, that you want to know is cargo space. So we will go ahead and we will put that here on the screen, so that way you can see what kind of different space you have based on which rows are folded. Let's just touch on some of the design things you may or may not notice right out of the gate. So first thing is wiper blade fully tucked away. It is all the way up in there. You probably literally can't even see it. That is nice, leaves the back end nice and clean. Now for the hitch, it is located behind this panel here that basically will come off. The hitch will be there. It does have parking sensors, as you can see there, and then located around and even over here on the left hand side. It also has a 360 camera all the way around. Gas tank, fuel door, whatever, is here on the driver, and it does have 4-door keyless entry. Now, on this Pro4X, we can talk about tire size. You can see they are all terrains, and they are 275 60/20s, and they do look quite nice in the black. Only thing, and if you're not new to my channel, you guys know, you already know what I'm gonna say. The wheel arches, that is the one thing that I would change on this exterior. I wish they were paint to match. I really wish they just were not the plastic. It is what it is, but other than that, it is a really, really nicely done design. Here on the front, you can see full LED. You can have some cool little runners, and then it does have parking sensors in the front as well, and then obviously some more lights down below. And then for the 360 camera in the front, you can see it's located right there, just hidden nicely in the front grille. The one thing that you probably don't notice, if we take this camera all the way down, you can kind of see you have some tow hooks, 2 of them. So if you need recovery tow hook points, obviously you can get pulled out. It's also at an angle, as you probably just saw. That way you can get over rocks or whatever else if you decide to take this off-road. All right, if you're new to my channel, I'm 5'9". So we're going to test getting into the back just because, to see if it's easy or not. Now it does have a step bar, as you can see, located right down there, and it does make it a lot easier in order to get into this vehicle. You also have a handle located right here. Now, as far as getting up on the step, definitely a good height location. Step up, and then we can kind of just slide in. Now that we are back here, let's go ahead and touch on headspace. Probably, I would say, roughly 2 inches up there. And then leg space can change drastically. So you have a bar under here. You can pull this forward, you can go forward, and this is all the way forward. So that's how much room I have now. Now if I go all the way back, here's the space that I have. I can't, okay, yeah, I can touch the seat, barely. And so you can see the difference. It's a good bit of adjustability. This is where my seat sits, 5'9" to drive. Back here, we have our own temperature control. As you can see, also you have heated seats, which is an option for the rear heated seats with the package, of course. And then you do have a middle seat located here that can fold as well. And this little pull tab is basically what will adjust it up or down. And you can kind of see the difference between the two. Like this is leaned back, that's kind of leaned forward. So it is tilt adjust, right? Manual, so I can go back to there. I'm gonna hold this camera as still as I can. Yeah, so you can kind of see how much it moves. So that's also nice and comfortable. And then of course you got seat back pockets. And then let's just put this forward, right? Again, I'm 5'9". That's where my seat sits. So let's pull this forward. Still have like plenty of room. We can go forward just a little bit more. So I've got literally one hand, right? So that's probably about 4 inches. I don't know, roughly in there. See the difference between the two, kind of how far forward it is. Now, if we look back here in the back, you can see there is a decent amount of room. Like it's crazy how much room is back there in order to sit. To get into the third row, you just simply pull this little guy here. We'll go forward, and then we can simply just step on back, and you can see, okay, well, these guys definitely need to go up. There we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Pull that up, okay. Now we're back here. See this button? It'll move this. Hold on. That's how much you can lean. So you've even got tilt back here. So if I'm leaning, I still have 5'9". I have room, right? You can see my fingers wiggling, probably 1.5 inches or so. Now, of course, generally you would have someone up there to get this seat back for you, but we do not. So we'll just pull it ourselves. Plenty of legroom. Like there is legroom for days. Now, storage, obviously, not quite as much back there. You guys have already seen the storage space numbers, but nonetheless, definitely a comfortable third row SUV. Jumping on into the front. Now, this is kind of a cool design. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see. It literally is shiny, almost like carbon fiber, but it physically is soft, which is pretty cool on the door panel. Rear doors, identical design and all soft touch. Everywhere is soft touch with the exception of down below, but all the way up on top, even up here is all soft. Really, really nice. Power folding mirrors, no wiggle, no jiggle on the switches, have little bezels, that's nice. 2 settings, memory seating. And then just take a look at the seat design there. It definitely looks quite nice. Getting into the front, very, very easy, really similar to the rear. There's a grab handle right here. Step up onto the step bar, you're good to go. Now that we are in here, I believe that the Platinum Reserve, don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I think the Platinum Reserve does have an optional heads-up display, or maybe standard on that trim level. Nonetheless, I think it does have it. It does not have it on this Pro4X, but this Pro4X is still very, very loaded. Love the new screen, right? It looks almost continuous. You have one little line separating them, and that is it. It is definitely nice touch. Down here we have heated seats, cooled seats, and then we also have a heated steering wheel located right there. Now let's go ahead and touch on the camera here. Let's go ahead and press that, and you can see it is full 360 all the way around. You can press this button a couple more times. Press it one more, see the sides, press it one more, see the front, press it one more. You can basically like see through the vehicle, which is pretty cool. Now we're back to the home screen. Now, infotainment wise, very, very nicely done. See the responsiveness, like they've done a good job. We can press the map, boom, you're good there. Obviously wireless Android and Apple CarPlay, so that's nice if you use that kind of thing. I do not a fan, just me personally. That has nothing to do with Nissan, that is every OEM. I don't like it. But up here we have a full digital camera, right? You can turn it off if you don't like it, but you can turn it on, so that is definitely a nice little touch. We have a panoramic roof. We'll go ahead and press this, press it there. It'll go back just part way, then you can press it one more time, and back she goes. I think this is the sensor for the biometric portion to detect your passenger's temperature. It'll automatically adjust temperature, which is pretty neat. You have the air adjustable height, auto stop start. I always turn that off. You have about a bajillion different modes that you could sit there and go through and it would change, right? So like if we sit here and spin it, you can see there's eco, there's sport, there's tow. If we go up the other way here, we've got snow, mud, and rut, which automatically turns the camera on. And then if we go to, oh, hold on. And then let's go to rock, and so on and so forth. So a lot of different options. Again, I find myself just in standard, honestly. That's pretty much where I stay as far as that goes. Let's take a look at the steering wheel. Last little piece here for the most part, just a couple more things. So you can see this is lit up orange here on the left-hand side. That is indicating that you can move through menus on this left screen. Now, if I want to go to the right side, you can press that, and then you can sit there and rotate through different things. You can kind of see on there. So that's kind of neat. This is your seeking, your tracks, obviously your volume, and then of course your cruise control. It has adaptive cruise control, Pro Pilot Assist as Nissan calls it, and it does have true lane centering with cruise control set. Over here, gear selector, wireless phone charger, couple of USB-Cs, couple of cup holders, and of course you can cover everything if you would like. Got Armada on there, and then we come back, and then you do have a pretty big center console. And you have that material on here as well, nice and soft touch. And again, it's almost like a carbon fiber, but it's actually soft, which is really, really cool. I think that's gonna do it pretty much for the interior. Again, I know we've spent a little bit more time as a longer video just because there's so much to go through on a bigger SUV. And I gotta touch on one last thing just because I see it. There is an interior camera that you can see in the back. Like if you have like kids or whatever, and you don't wanna turn around, it'll show it on the screen. You can just go to that camera. Also has a dash cam built in, so it'll be for the front and the rear. So if we were to, and I'm just gonna show you really quick here, let's go ahead and hit back. Then we will scroll over to the right one more time, and then we'll go to dash cam. If you select that, you can see it's got out in front of us the camera, but it's also got the rear up in the right-hand corner. But we can also go to the inside camera, and you can see there we are. So you can see, you know, again, if you have kiddos or whatever, kind of a cool little thing, and you can hit record, start, whatever. So that's a neat little feature there that I did want to touch on, and the responsiveness with Google built in and everything is definitely a nice touch. All right, now for real, I think we've covered everything on the interior. Let's go take this all new Armada out on the road. My first impressions of driving this all new Armada, and it's no surprise, and it may sound a little stupid for what it is, but it does not feel small when you are driving it. It just does not feel small. It definitely has a presence, and from that standpoint, you definitely feel safe, right? Like you feel off the road, like everything, like I got so much room, and it feels like a Hummer almost with how much room you have. But nonetheless, yeah, you feel very, very safe in this vehicle. Second impression was, my goodness. Oh my goodness. The exterior and the interior, I mean, such a phenomenal job by Nissan. It's no secret for the longest time they were behind, right? They just were not catching up on technologies and everything else, and they were just outdated. There's just no other way to put it. And again, that's no secret, and that they've been criticized for a long time. And there's a lot of people that are striking Nissan off the list because of what they've been for some time. And you guys really got to give them another chance. Like, you really got to drive some of their newer vehicles and see how well they drive and how much technology is updated. And I just want to really give truly a hats off to Nissan for now listening to their customers and really adapting and making their vehicles that much better. So great job to them. Now, on that front, I've got 3 different categories for noise if you're new to my channel. I've got powertrain noise, I have wind noise, and I have tire noise, right? Powertrain is a little bit on the noisier side in this vehicle. It's nothing crazy, but it is there, it's present. Wind noise, very refined, they've done a good job. And I've got to say, for all-terrain tires, they've done a really, really nice job. There's such a good balance. They're not noisy, which generally they are, to be honest. All-terrains, I'm usually not a fan of. In an everyday type vehicle, obviously great for all-terrains. More non-pavement, but these have done a good job. They're relatively quiet for being all-terrains, and that's great. And it does have a little bit of pep in its step. Again, 0 to 60 is about 6.2, and it's got intelligent all-wheel drive, right? So it's gonna detect when there's slip, and then it's gonna help you out a little bit. All right, we'll get out here a little bit and let's step on it. Here we go. That was like not even optimal gearing for stepping on it, honestly, and it absolutely is more than enough for this size of SUV for sure. Let's go ahead and touch on our blind spots. Over to my left, it is a rather fat pillar, but no real issues. Over to my right, I don't really have any issues, maybe the very back row just a little bit, but at that point you can really see in your mirror. But of course, it is equipped with blind spot monitoring if you were to need it. We're coming up to a cattle guard. We do it every week to test suspension and noise. We're just in standard mode, so let's just see how it does. Here we go. Suspension absorbed well, has a little bit of kick, so it's just a hair on the firmer side for this SUV. And then his noise, very, very maintained. Again, all-terrain tires, man, they are quite impressive with how quiet they truly are. Let's go ahead and set our cruise control here as a motorcycle goes flying past us. As you do, have a nice day. Again, let's go ahead and hit set here. If I can hit the right buttons, there we go, and set. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn it up to the speed limit, which is 50 miles an hour. We've got it set, and of course, this is not a true hands-free. You are supposed to keep it on there, but it is lane centering, and you do not have to, like if you were getting a drink of water, right, to where it's really quick and your hands are off the wheel for a second, it will absolutely keep you dead center of the lane. Adaptive cruise control works nicely, several different settings. As far as accelerating and decelerating, it works really, really well. No complaints there as well. The technology is really, really there in Nissan in today's age. My one improvement would be is, can we get it to where you don't have to have your cruise control set? Like, that would be the most ideal, right? To not have your cruise control set and still have lane centering. Other OEMs definitely do offer it. So that would be one improvement they could eventually make, but no big deal at all. And I have spent some time at higher rates of speed, meaning like freeway and all that type of stuff. And again, same report back on the noise levels and everything else. It is quite maintained. They've done a good job on pretty much every category. It feels nice. It feels spacious. It's good on all fronts. The only thing, in my opinion, that's probably not the best, and that's probably no secret, is the gas mileage. The gas mileage is not great, right? Like full-size trucks get a little bit better of gas mileage. So it kind of is what it is. But the other thing to keep in mind, if you're a business owner, and if you're not familiar, I'm not a tax advisor. However, I will say it's over 6,000 pounds. If you look into the code, there's some pretty big discounts or write-offs, as we'll call them, for any vehicle over 6,000 pounds. So definitely something to look into. You need it for that. But then again, like I said, great job to Nissan. Like, they have truly, this is a very, I enjoy this vehicle. You know, previously on some older stuff, I just didn't, they were just behind it, you know, and I'm not trying to knock on Nissan for what they were, but I'm really genuinely trying to give them credit as to where they have, you know, taken themselves now. So good job to them one last time. And I got to say, I've really enjoyed my week with this vehicle. It's definitely a comfortable ride. I could absolutely daily this, no problem. It's easy to get in and out. Feels luxurious. Pretty much all fronts, including like the doors. A lot of times they'll cheap out on like the Nissan version, and then the Infiniti will only have like soft touch points. This thing has soft touch points all the way through the dash, all the way up top. Like, everywhere you touch is soft, and it just feels more premium. I think we've covered just about everything in here. Again, we didn't do an off-road review, which I know this vehicle is mainly focused, this trim level is off-road, but there's just other reviews already out there, and I wanted to give the daily perspective as to what it's like to live with. So again, very, very comfortable. No issues really that I've seen, just little tiny improvements, and it's come such a long ways. So hope you guys enjoyed. And again, I know this was a longer video, so if you've really watched the whole thing, you guys are real ones. I definitely appreciate it. And I will catch you guys on the next video, which is 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. And I haven't stated it yet or not, we bought a new car. So stay tuned for that, and catch you guys on the next. Peace.